Hi, welcome back to our channel. It's Cindy Casita with Real Estate with Cindy. Today we're going to talk about contract to close. Now this is going to be after you've gotten through the inspection period and you're going to the closing or getting ready for closing. I'm going to talk mainly about a cash deal today because a lender deal is a little bit different and we're looking at it from the buyer's agent perspective. Now these are not things that are theoretical or things I've read in the book. These are things that have actually happened to me that make me a better agent for the next transaction. So, don't get discouraged if, boo-boos happen. They just do. And you can get them, cleaned up, get them fixed and move on, and just know that, next time that's kind of something I need to watch for. So we're going to talk about a cash deal. Now, when your buyer was making the offer, they mostly have to show a proof of funds that they're able to purchase this place or condo or home, whatever it is, farmland, whatever it is. So they have to show that proof of funds. Now, when it comes down to it, after the inspection, they're getting excited. They may not use those funds. That was my 401k. I don't want to pull money out of that. I'd rather pull it out of these 3 other accounts over here. Well, some of these lending institutions and some of these 401ks or whatever are a little old school. And I have seen that they request the money. The money takes like 5 to 10 days to get out of the account. Then they mail a check to the person. And then that person, your buyer, has to deposit in the account into their checking account or whatever account they're going to write the funds out of. And then the money has to cure, meaning it has to be in the account for 10 days. And you start adding up that, you're talking about, 20, 30 days. So you can't wait till the week before closing and go, how am I going to pay for this? Now, I also have had them, and this is a conversation you have with your buyer at the very beginning. It's just kind of something I mentioned in the car. You have to be careful, those institutions, sometimes their policy is pretty old school. So you might want to check into how that goes, getting those funds out. Or they decide, what, I think I will go get a loan. You're like, holy moly, don't do that. But, I have seen them do a home equity loan, which, it doesn't change the transaction any. They're buying this house, this condo. But if they want to somehow get all that paperwork done and get it to be a lender by the end of the transaction, that's fine. Don't expect to get an extension on closing. So, hopefully they still have the cash, but they just kind of want to do this. I encourage them, if they want to do that, wait till after closing and then go get your home equity loan, pay off this one down here, and then you're good. Because inevitably they want to use old Frank down at the bank on the corner in Omaha. He'll give me a loan. Well, they don't get how lending is in other states, and it can really snag up the process. And so if they can do like a home equity on their property that's right there where Frank is, then that's okay. And usually home equity, you can get those done in 10 days, and sometimes they don't even need an appraisal. So, it's just, that can be done. But just kind of keep in touch with your buyer and, make sure things are moving along. Don't let it go a couple of days and you haven't talked to them. Keep them excited about the process. Make sure they're filling out their application has been sent in, and when is their interview? Condos require interviews. Usually HOAs with residential do not, but condos require an interview. They just want to look at you for some reason. And they do usually through Zoom call or that kind of thing if they're not here. Now we do have a community here that's a 55 plus that requires the people to be there. So this is one of those things when you look at those condo docs, see what that interview looks like. If the people have to be here, then they need to make plans to fly down for this interview, and hopefully it can be done, the week of closing. But then sometimes they're so slow. You need them to go in and get that done, because until they've had the interview or had the application filled out, they won't fill out the estoppel letter, which is what the title company or the lawyer needs to be able to close the transaction. And that just lets them know that everything's okay, everything's paid. These are our fees. There is an estoppel fee, usually for both sides, and it's just kind of for their slush funds. I mean, it's kind of crazy, but down on the beaches, we've seen it be $1,000, $1,500 for the estoppel letter, which is crazy. And you want to get it done so it's not a rush process. Be sure and find out, hopefully you've got a good listing agent that has sent you a list of the utilities that need to be changed over into the name. It's okay to call and ask the listing agent, who do we need to contact? Because like with condos in Florida, your cable, internet, your Wi-Fi is all included in your package that comes with the condo, and all you have to do is just call them and go, hey, I'm the new owner, and they may want to see your closing statement or something, but you go ahead and apply for that. Electric, just real quick phone call. Most of these people have already got some sort of credit, and they just, turn the power on for you. Turning the power on, I always ask my buyers to turn it on the day before closing, because inevitably, if the seller does it the day before closing or the day of closing and there's no power, if the power company can screw it up, they'll screw it up. That way, it kind of overlaps. If they'll do it also, then the day of closing, there's power, water, sewer, trash, there's everything all set up, ready to go. So coordinate that well. Find out where they have to go to the cable company and pick up their modem and their cable boxes. That's kind of a little helpful hint. You can't go get them for them, but you sure can give them a map or give them an address and tell them what the process is going to look like. If the home is coming furnished, this is a very important part, and especially if you're dealing with a foreclosure, short sale. People tend to sell whatever's attached to the wall even. So I go through and I print out the colored pictures of the MLS on the walkthrough morning. I always do the walkthrough the morning of closing, because we had a listing that flooded the night before. And if we hadn't done that, those poor people would have bought that home with a pond in the living room. The air conditioning condensation line had clogged up and flooded the whole house. So I, as a buyer's agent, want to go in right before closing and go, everything looks great. I take those pictures of that furniture because we have seen it happen. People will swap out. That coffee table Joe on the 4th floor really loved it, but we got an old one in the storage. We'll just put that one down instead and give Joe, or sell Joe, that coffee table that we have. Make sure everything is right, because believe me, there's certain things that the buyer remembers. Bar stools, tchotchkes, whatever. Just make sure it's all there as you walk through. And if it's not, make a note. Talk to the listing agent. Hopefully the listing agent is there. A lot of times they're not. Make a quick phone call. I noticed that there used to be 4 bar stools and now there's only 2. Where are the other 2? There's nothing. Over bar stools, people will have a heart attack. So just make sure everything's there that was promised to them in the contract. Now, if you were very ambiguous in the contract about it comes furnished and some decor, then you kind of opened yourself up for, I left you some, but I took the rest kind of thing. Towels, linens, be very specific, because this is where it kind of hits you that, oh, I should have been more specific about these items. Patio furniture, what's in the garage. If you were expecting to get the lawnmower and the lawnmower's gone, whatever it is, be specific as to what you're getting when you write these contracts. When you're in the process also, talk to your buyer about how they're taking title. Now, some people want to put it in a trust. Some people want to put it in an LLC. Now, the LLC, be careful, because there's some condos that don't allow LLCs to own a condo in there, even though it's the same people. What happened was, back in the day, Delta Airlines would come in and buy a condo and let their flight attendants all stay in it while they were on layover, whatever, here, and it just caused too much in and out. And so they don't like with an LLC that it is too many people coming and going. I had a guy that he bought it, the LLC was for his family, but he kind of gave the employee of the year a pat on the back by letting him have a week at his condo, and that's why he wanted to put it in the LLC so he could write it off on taxes. So that's a different kind of scenario than if you've got employees in and out constantly, but that's something to handle with the board at the very beginning. Don't be surprised they buy it and they go, oh, they won't let my employees come stay. Now, usually with the employees, if it's a small number of people and they're not being charged rent, there's no lease, it's just like friends and family kind of thing, there's not an issue. But you want to make sure if there's a trust, the title company and lawyers will need to see the original trust documents. Don't wait until 10 days before closing to set up a trust. Please don't. If you're selling in a trust, you have to have those original docs to show them, and the proceeds cannot go to a person's checking account. It has to go to the trust checking account. So that's something I always ask at the very beginning. Do you have an account set up for this trust so that the proceeds can be wired to it, and then you can disperse it to the heirs or to the people from there. Just, because inevitably you get to closing and they look at the deposit slip they're showing you and they go, oh, we can't put it in that. It's got to be in a trust. Well, there you go. You've caused another snag. So just be prepared. There's lots of little pieces, and we're going to have a field guide down below to kind of help you get through some of these items so that you don't forget and you look like the hero of a transaction. Follow up with a title company during the process. Now, as down here in Florida, as the listing agent, you get to pick the title company. So I got a couple that I love, and they keep me informed as to what's going on if people aren't behaving and getting their paperwork done or whatever. So stay in with the title company. Introduce yourself if you're the buyer's agent. Let them know who you are, and then more than likely they already know you. And tell them, I'm available. Give them your email. Give them everything they need to get in touch with you, so that it's not a surprise that if the listing agent isn't doing their job and staying on top of the sellers, that you can kind of give a little helpful nudge to the selling agent. They may be a new person they just don't know, and because you're a professional, the items that need to be taken care of before it. Look for all the and when you do the walkthrough, look for all the fobs and the keys and everything that might be, especially mailbox keys in condos, fobs to get in and out of the lobby. Are there access codes? Is there access code on the elevator that they need to know? These are all things that should have been handled during the interview with the HOA. They were telling them that we'll get this information to you. Follow up, make sure they have it, because nothing worse than having the moving van down in the parking garage and they can't get up to their condo. Not so much in houses. That's okay. That's not so bad. But make sure you got all the keys. They'll give you a wad of keys, but make sure one of them opens the front door. It's nothing worse, because you've got that drawer with keys in it. And you kind of go, oh, let's just give them all of these keys. I don't know what works in it. It's not necessary. Just go through, take your time. You're being paid to be a professional. And check the keys, make sure everything is good. I got a cute little keychain with a house on it and my name on it, so that they don't ever forget. And I just tell them, put your extra key on this if you don't want to carry it around with you, so that when they go to sell, they go, oh yeah, I remember now, Cindy, hopefully you've been in touch with them, sold us this house, and let's call her again to sell this house because she knows this house. In condos, make sure that you've checked there's always a storage unit or storage room or storage shelf, that you have keys to all of that. Make sure you understand, if it's a complicated house that has a lot of systems in it, it's okay to ask the listing agent to have the seller meet you there, and they love showing off their home. Have them kind of run through how to turn the pool pump on, where the breaker box is, how do you work the sprinkler system. It's a good thing to use this trash company versus that trash company. And the neighbor on the left, they're so helpful. We always leave a key with them. That kind of stuff just builds such great warmth with your sellers, and they're glad to be handing their home over to someone that loves it nearly as much as they do. So, it's okay to do that, because there are some houses down here that are very, very complicated, and you want to make sure that they can work everything when they get into the house. Also, the walkthrough, I kind of flush all the toilets, turn all the faucets on, just kind of make sure everything's working and everything, and kind of double check if they had some repairs, if those things were done in a professional manner and they haven't made any more damage. And you as a listing agent, you've already gone through there and made sure everything is just perfect. Sometimes I put a bottle of sparkling water and some glasses and congratulations on your new home on the counter. Nothing big, especially if it's a beach condo and they're going to be doing the sunset, something like that. Just a little, welcome to your new home. Because if you look, as you do real estate through the years, If you look how many times the person that sold the place to the buyers are not the people that got the listing when they decided to move. And you wonder, are they not keeping in touch? Are they not having a relationship with these people? These are people you want to send a card to every once in a while to, and you know, nurture that relationship. This is your future business is here. And this is such an easy shooting fish in a barrel kind of thing. And they are abandoned buyers. And so just because it's not your buyer, they bought your listing. And so you kind of want to stay in touch and go, thank you so much for this transaction. But just be mindful you're not stepping on anyone's toes. You know the good agents, the bad agents. And you know, you want to be helpful if they ever need something. But you know, don't give them your contact information right away. Just, you know, follow up with the listing agent or whatever, and just say, you know, welcome to your new home. So good luck. You're almost at closing. Last but not least, get your paperwork done or you don't get paid. I will say that over and over again. It is very important. Get your paperwork done and into the office so that you can get your check. Good luck. Thank you for watching. If you're looking to be a better agent or you're a new agent getting into the business, you might want to look at a couple of these new videos that we have that will help you on that process. I want to thank you for watching. If you liked what we're saying, please like and subscribe. Look forward to talking to you again.